Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. Oh, boy. Welcome in. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI and iLEAD Schools, Eye on the Valley, and I am your host, Matt Watson. Welcome in and welcome back. It is good to have you. Yeah, that's right. We took a couple of weeks off for the holidays. You know, what can I say? I'm a teacher. I'm used to getting the holidays off, and so, yeah, but it's great to be back. Anyways, we are back and so excited to be here. I'm glad you're here to join us. I'm in studio today. Where are you? Where are you today? Are you in the car? You listening to the radio on your way to work? So if you're on the radio, what do you do? What do you prefer? Do you prefer the AM or the FM? Because you know, here at KHTS, we're on both. You can kick it old school and be on 1220 AM, or you can get the power of FM at 98.1 FM. Or are you at home still? Are you on the tail end of your vacation as well? Or you know, doing the homeschool thing and just hunkering down, staying safer at home. You know, there's a lot of ways for you to listen at home. Of course, you know, you can always catch us on Facebook Live on the KHTS radio page on Facebook. You can look into the studio and keep your eye on me as we keep our eye on the valley. If you're doing that, you'll actually notice I've had to go back to styling my hair like I did back in high school. I got that 80s wave going on again because, you know, can't get into the barber and get that trimmed. So, Patty, maybe a little bit of Duran Duran for buffer music today. You know what I mean? Got that wave going on.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Or you know, maybe you're at home and you're listening live on hometownstation.com. You know, you can stream us live on hometownstation.com. You can always download the KHTS app. Did you realize we've got that KHTS app? You can take us with you wherever you go on your phone and Android or Apple phone, and just download that app and listen to us. Or did you realize you can get us on your smart device, your Echo device? You can stream us by just saying, Alexa, play KHTS, and bam, there we are. However you tune in, however you're listening to us today, you are not going to want to miss 1 minute of our show, Eye on the Valley, today. We have got an incredible show today. Now, I know I say that every Friday, right? And I believe it. I believe that, you know, producer Sarah puts together a great show for you every Friday. But today, man, do we have a great show for you. In just a moment, you're going to meet Amber Music. She is the investment team coordinator from iLEAD Exploration. She is so amazing. She's doing some great things that she's really passionate about. You're just going to love Amber. And later this hour, Big T's going to swing by. That's right. You know, Big T is always here to have a little bit of fun with us and make with the trivia and fun facts and giggle with us for a little bit. And in hour number 2 today, we've got 2 big-time VIPs. We've got State Senator Scott Wilk and Mayor Bill Miranda stopping by. So, yeah, great show today. So let's get into it right away. Here we go. My first guest works, as I said, with iLEAD Exploration, our school's unique and innovative homeschooling option, serving literally thousands of families across Southern California. Amber Music is the investment team's coordinator for iLEAD Exploration. Amber earned her bachelor's degree in English and a single-subject teaching credential from National University. She went on to earn her master's degree in English at the beach. That's right, Cal State Long Beach. Before working with homeschooling families, she taught English in high school for 6 years, where she just absolutely loved teaching high school learners and watching them grow as writers throughout the school year. She also taught college classes at Westwood College in Anaheim for 5 years, where she loved working with non-traditional learners and appreciated the sacrifices that they made to continue their education. She also has experience as an online college English professor. Currently, Amber's working full-time as an educational facilitator. We shorten that and call her an EF with iLEAD Exploration, as I said, and she's also the investment teams coordinator. Working with homeschool families has been a joy for Amber. She loves building relationships with her learners and their families. Amber is inspired by her learners as they grow and investigate subjects that interest them, and by parents who allow their children to think outside the box. Amber loves to learn herself, which is why teaching is her passion. When she's not teaching, she enjoys spending her time with her husband and 4 children, Parker, Reese, Smythe, and Bodie. She also enjoys being outdoors, whether it's riding bikes or going on hikes, swimming in the pool, or taking her kids to the park. Amber, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Good morning. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Amber, I want to get into what you do for iLEAD Exploration because I know you're an EF and you also play that really cool role of in our homeschool program of being the investment teams coordinator. But first, for our listeners who don't know or aren't totally familiar with exploration and how our program's set up, let's set the stage a little bit for them. Can you tell us a little bit about Exploration's program? How does that work?
Sure. So iLEAD Exploration is an independent study program. You're assigned an EF who you partner with during your educational journey. And they guide you through, make sure you're crossing all your T's and dotting on all your I's. It's more you get to choose where you're taking classes and what you're doing at home, but it's all overseen by a credentialed teacher.
Right. So you get as a parent, you get a lot more autonomy in what your learners do, and then our parents also pass that autonomy onto their kids, and they typically, even when we're not at a safer at home restriction, typically doing their education at home and guided by their parents, but like you said, also supported by that credentialed teacher that provides a tremendous amount of support. But what grades are we talking about here? Is this K through 6, K through 8?
It's TK through 12. So we got our TK learners all the way up through high school. We could support you.
Fantastic. So when you say TK, that's like the 4.5-year-olds that just missed the cutoff for kindergarten, right?
Right. It's transitional kindergarten. So if you have that September 2nd through December 2nd birthday and you miss that cutoff, you're within that cutoff. You could do the 2 years of kindergarten is essentially what it is.
And I want to point out for our listeners that this homeschool program that, as I mentioned, you guys serve thousands. This is not a private program, is it? This is a fully funded public school, pretty much open to anyone. Well, certainly if you can hear our voice here in the Valley, but pretty much across Southern California, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about, or I did. I explained that our EFs, our educational facilitators, are those credentialed educators. So if it's homeschool, we think of mom or dad or grandma or somebody else like that at home providing all the curriculum and instruction. So what role does the EF play? What do you do? What's your job? How do you get involved with the family and the learners?
Right. So we meet with the family. It's all about collaboration, and we see each learner as an individual. So we meet with the families and see what their interests are, what their passions are, and then we build what we call an individualized learning plan. And as the educational facilitator, I'm making suggestions for curriculum that would fit. I'm making sure they're meeting the content standards, but within a way that makes sense for that family. So we're just making sure they're learning all the things appropriate for their grade level. They have the right curriculum, but it's also passion and interest led. So we just really want to make sure each learner is doing what's best for them while also doing what's appropriate for that grade level and within the state size.
Okay, so kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure that the learner's learning and growing and getting everything that they need, supporting the family. I love this concept, Amber, of the ILP. I've been teaching for about 25 years now, and I used to really enjoy working with my special education students who were on an IEP. I thought, wow, this is amazing that that a couple of my students in my classroom have this individualized plan where at one point in the year we assess them, see exactly where they're at, figure out exactly what they as an individual need, and then we set goals for them, and then we develop a path to help support them achieve those goals. And it was just remarkable. And I thought, I wish every one of my kids could have one of these IEPs or these specialized plans designed specifically for them with the built-in supports. And you do that for all of your learners. It's not just designated for those special education learners. You assess, set goals, and then build that individualized plan for all of your kids, don't you?
Yes, we do. And it's just really exciting to see learners have a say in their education and just really being interest and passion led, and they could do their project based and do it across all subjects, and just seeing how everything links together and spending more time on a concept if needed and moving quicker through curriculum if they're advancing and grasping things. So it's super exciting, and it's great that we could do it for each individual learner.
That is really exciting. Now, again, I've been a teacher for a long time, and when I was in the classroom, my learners were always assigned to me, right? And it was typically by age, right? When I taught third grade, I'd get a certain number of the third grade buddies, and they'd come in and join me. But it's got to be different in homeschool. How are you and the rest of the EFs matched up with your families? How are your I don't know if we call them classes, but how do you get learners assigned to you?
So typically it's based on location, because during non-COVID times, we really value that relationship. So we want where we can meet and come together. And if your learner is having a robotics show, that I could show up and watch them because we're within the same city. And then the EF is super knowledgeable. They know what services are offered, what vendors are offered. If they need to offer extra support and do extra meetings, it's convenient and close by. And since all our EFs are exceptional, anybody within your area should be an amazing fit for you. So typically we like to do it based on location for those reasons.
Okay, so do you have, like, in each geographical region, you have like a third grade EF and a fourth grade EF, or do people handle multiple grade levels? How does that work?
Yeah, so as an EF, I could have learners in TK through 12th grade. I'm capable of taking on any of those grade levels. And we have a resource team that if I'm maybe not quite sure the best resource for a fifth grade writer, I could go to that team and say, I'm looking for this, and they could give me resources and advice. But we are equipped to take learners in all grades. So if there was a family that had multiple learners, I could be their EF and service each one of their grade levels.
Wow, that's fantastic. So if I'm a homeschool parent and I've got a fourth grader, a seventh grader, and a sophomore in high school, I might have, and I probably would have, the same EF where I get together with one support educator, one educational facilitator to help guide me in educating all three of my kids rather than having to go to three different people.
Exactly. So you establish that relationship with the one EF, and all your kids meet with them, and you just go to that one point person as a parent. Yes.
That's fantastic. We're talking this morning with Amber Music from iLEAD Exploration. She is an educational facilitator as well as the investment teams coordinator. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Amber, let's talk a little bit about your experience. How long have you been with iLEAD Exploration, and how much have you seen it grow since you've been with us?
So I've been with iLEAD Exploration since the beginning. This is my 6th year.
Oh, wow.
And it's just amazing, the growth. We continue to grow every year, whether we get more EFs, more learners, our vendor department grows. And we really, I think we really have a knack for listening to families, and based on their need and how things are changing, we continue to grow as a program, and just make sure we're supporting learners. Learners are always our focus, so we're always growing to improve and to do better and better support our families.
Yeah, I think it's that customization and individual attention that you guys give that make your program so popular. I know you guys constantly have wait lists just busting at the seams, but you're always looking for ways to add new team members so that you can continue to grow and add new learners in as they come. So now typically, it's funny, I often hear this misnomer, right? Parents will say, yeah, well, we're all homeschool teachers now. But that's not necessarily the truth. There's a big difference between homeschooling and distance learning. But that having been said, if your families are all homeschool families, has anything changed during this distance learning? You know, there never was a school campus for your learners to have shut down. So has anything changed during this pandemic for your families?
Yeah, we're really big on building community and just offering those extracurricular activities to our families, and meeting with them one-on-one. So we are able still to do these things. We have event, but they're virtual now. We still have our meetings, but they're virtual. So we're doing the same things, but we've just had to adjust to the virtual format. So that in-person connection is not there, but we're still doing all the things that we have been doing. It just looks differently now.
Okay, so you guys, when we're not in a pandemic, you're typically getting together in groups, so kids still have that opportunity to socialize with other kids their age, do fun and exciting things. I love looking at Exploration's group Facebook page. There's always pictures that, at least when we're not in that pandemic, of, the snow day in July, or the park get-togethers, the field trips that they're taking together. It's really exciting. You guys do amazing things for your families. We're talking to Amber Music. She is an educational facilitator and an investment teams coordinator for iLEAD Exploration. For more information about iLEAD Exploration, you can go to their website. It is iLEAD, I-L-E-A-D, iLEADexploration.org. But Amber, it's such a cool title you have, Investment Teams Coordinator. I want to ask you about that, but let's do that when we come back. Let's knock out a couple of quick commercials. More with Amber after this. Stick around. You're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
No contract pest control. Did you hear that? Yes, Unipest has no contract, low impact, affordable, and environmentally and family friendly pest control options with orange oil or other family friendly products. Whether it's ants, spiders, gophers, termites, or bed bugs, Unipest Termite and Pest Control has an effective, eco-friendly option for you. Call Unipest today for a free orange oil inspection at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
Traffic brought to you by the law firm of Owen Patterson Owen, helping Santa Clarita drivers recover from life-changing accidents for over 3 decades. Owen Patterson Owen, encouraging you to drive safely. Visit opolaw.com.
At College of the Canyons, we are
an inclusive community,
a family,
a partner,
a leader,
a way forward,
an open door,
an affordable education,
an opportunity for a different tomorrow.
Spring classes begin in February.
The time is now.
The place is here.
Enroll now.
Canyons.edu/schedule.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 on the FM dial and 1220 AM. This is SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, and this morning we're joined by Amber Music. Amber is an educational facilitator and investment teams coordinator for iLEAD Exploration. We were talking before the break about how unique and innovative iLEAD Exploration's homeschool program is. It's offered throughout the iLEAD Schools network, serving literally thousands of families and learners across Southern California with an extremely personal and personalized homeschool experience. So Amber, let's talk about that other role that I was mentioning before we went to commercial. You're the investment teams coordinator. Man, love to put that on a business card. But what does that mean? What do you do as the investment teams coordinator?
Oh, so as educational facilitators, you have your roster, which focuses on your specific families that you serve. And then we have investment teams that serve our school as a whole. So we have several investment teams, some that are more internal, our compliance team that are making sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's and for everything with our folders and making sure we're compliant. We have like our Monday message team that gets out our Monday message and all our information to our families. Our our educator university team that puts on webinars for families. So we have all these different teams, and I help support them. So we are giving our families community, and we're making sure we're doing a good job as EFs, that we're testing is taken care of. So they're specialized teams that you kind of have a focus and a passion that help our school run as a whole.
So as I'm listening to you talk, this is reminding me a lot of that concept that we rely on so heavily at all of our iLEAD schools. You know, we're a 7 Habits organization, and this sounds a lot like Synergy, where you're kind of drawing on everyone's specialty, everyone's unique talents, and this is kind of the system through which you make sure that everything gets done and gets done well, right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely right.
So this is this like a team that you hire for? Is this like a back office team where you can apply to be an investment team leader or something like that? Or who leads these individual teams that you coordinate?
So every investment team head, we call anyone who leads an investment team head. They're all EFs. So they have shown passion or leadership in a specific area, and then they oversee their little team. So we have someone who is super passionate about design and getting information out to our families, and so she's head of our communications team, which focuses on the Monday message and making sure that's ready for families every week. So it depends on the EF skill set and interest, and then they become investment team heads, and then I work with them closely, and we make sure that they are supporting our families and supporting our teams with what they need to do.
So these are regular homeschool educational facilitators that have their own roster, are supporting their own families, but then they're also using their talents to support their colleagues as these investment team leads.
Exactly.
Oh,
yes.
Fantastic. Kind of gosh, that real dynamic of synergy there, of colleagues supporting colleagues to make sure that everyone's getting what they need and doing the best job they can. That's a really cool system. So how did this develop? How did this come about in exploration? Because as you mentioned, although your program's grown rather rapidly, you're still 6 years young. So how did this system of organization come about, and how has it developed over the years?
Yeah, so it's definitely really evolved. We didn't have investment teams in the beginning, and we kind of noticed that each EF was doing similar things, but they were just doing it for their tiny roster. So we came up with a system like, how could this make more sense? One of my colleagues has a great saying, many hands make for light work. And so how can we take what everyone's doing and spread it out? So not everyone is doing their own individual 8th grade promotion, but we could have one big celebration and have a team that focuses on that. So they could focus on that, but another team could focus on our curriculum library and getting borrowed materials out. But we still know we're going to have an 8th grade promotion. So we've honed it in, and we come up with teams, and we get suggestions from families and EFs. And it just keeps evolving, and we take these suggestions and we grow and become stronger every year.
Gosh, that's great, because I'm thinking about myself as an educator and how I might fit into that system. And you know, I always considered myself not so much a great teacher, but a good thief, and so I would steal things from other people. But I was never that resourceful. I was always really good at communication. And I know a lot of my colleagues were never the best at communication. And, you know, I remember sometimes my families would say, yeah, you're really good at communication. But there was that downside of, you know, but we all have our weaknesses. This is everybody being strong in everybody else's weakness. That's really cool. So you mentioned that these teams were developed by and are run by your kind of rank and file staff. This isn't your bosses dictating what teams they're going to be. Hey guys, we need a new team, and you know what, you're gonna serve on this team this year. It's not that like top down boss making the decision, is it? Why is that type of rank and file leadership important to your program?
Well, when our EFs are passionate about what they're doing, when they're excited about it, it just comes through, right? So everyone has different passions. Some people are passionate about spreadsheets and they just love organizing information, and that's a tool that we could use and we could put to good use. Some are better at communication and they like being on webinars and presenting information. So we're able to use those strengths and passions. And when EF, it doesn't feel like an extra duty. It's something they're excited about to provide to our families. So it's really helpful in getting EFs into something that they enjoy doing, and it helps really to invest back into our program, and you could just feel it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that really is something that we try to drive home hard at all of our schools, and I think you guys have really honed in on it. That importance of staff and student or learner leadership, because when people are taking lead and they have that autonomy to do something important, and they're doing something that they're passionate about, it makes it better. It leads to better quality, but then at the same time, it also develops that leadership in people that is so important. Well, that we're developing in our staff, but in our learners as well. That is really important. That's cool. So I understand that these teams also play a huge role in your school's accountability systems through WASC, which is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. That's our accrediting organization, because you're a fully accredited school. And also the LCAP, the local control model that allows us to stay accountable to our stakeholders. So can you explain that a little bit? How do the investment teams make sure that we're staying accountable as a school?
Sure. So each year I meet with the directors and we look at our WASC and LCAP goals, and we kind of look at what we need to do and then what investment team it best fits under. So then we set goals at the beginning or in the summer, usually for the upcoming year. I set goals for each team, like, okay, this is what we need to get done. We need to offer tutoring in language arts and math, or we need to make sure we're communicating with families weekly, or our testing scores, how are we going to help raise our testing scores, and what investment teams could work on that. So we set goals as investment teams, and then they meet with their teams, and we come up with creative ways of attaining those goals. And then I have a little tracking system where if we have webinars, how many families attended them, and we keep documentation, and we have flyers. So yeah, we definitely use our goals to help set what our investment teams will be working on for that year.
Wow, no wonder your program has grown so quickly. I kind of use the blanket number. I know it fluctuates monthly, but you guys have got upwards of 3,000 learners in your program, and listening to A, how organized you guys are, and B, how passionate you are for providing individualized learning in that homeschool setting. No wonder you guys are growing so fast. This is really exciting, Amber. Thank you so much for sharing. I have one last question for you. We are still celebrating that new year. Have you got any resolutions for 2021?
Oh gosh. Well, I would love to be healthier. And get in a little exercise every day or a few times a week would probably be my resolution.
There we go. Ratchet up the grind. Good job. Good job. Amber, this all sounds great. I really appreciate you sharing with us. And like I said, these types of systems of leadership are exactly what makes for such a wonderful experience for your learners and your families at iLEAD Exploration. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for joining us this morning. Again, for more information on iLEAD Exploration, iLEAD's unique and innovative homeschooling program, you can go to iLEADexploration.org, ILEAD exploration.org. Amber, thanks again. You have a wonderful new year, and we will talk to you real soon. You take care.
You too. Thanks, Matt.
Of course. When we come back, Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Please put on your fun shoes and get ready for it. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita Valley residents now have greater access to the excellent physicians and high-quality medical services for which Providence Holy Cross is known. Providence Holy Cross Health Center in Santa Clarita features state-of-the-art cancer and imaging technologies, as well as board-certified physicians in a variety of medical specialties. Quality and compassion from a healthcare provider you can depend on. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us at providence.org.
Do you change your own motor oil? Did you know used oil is actually hazardous waste and can't be disposed of in the trash like regular old garbage? Fortunately, Santa Clarita has over 20 certified collection centers to properly dispose of used motor oil and filters for free. When you do the right thing, you help keep our city clean. Visit greensantaclarita.com for locations near you. That's greensantaclarita.com. This message is funded by Cal Recycle.
If you need help at home or at the office, call Made For You. Made For You is a locally owned, bonded, and licensed cleaning service with over 20 years of experience. All employees are vetted for your protection. No need to buy products or equipment. The Made For You staff comes complete with everything needed to make your home or office cleaner than ever. Hire Made For You one time, as needed, or an ongoing basis. No room is off limits. Laundry and ironing services are also available. Call Made For You for a free estimate. 255-2922. That's 255-2922.
Welcome to Duncan. There are 2 Duncan locations in the SCV. Both locations have outdoor seating, carry-out service, and delivery with Postmates, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. Use the Duncan app to order and accumulate points. The Canyon Country location on Sierra Highway near Via Princesa has drive-through service and is open till 7 p.m. The Bouquet Canyon location just off Newhall Ranch Road has curbside service and is now open till 7 p.m. The Santa Clarita Valley runs on Duncan. The shows must go on. The Main in Santa Clarita is your destination for free online music, theater, art, and entertainment opportunities. Tune into fun variety nights, join a talent show, learn from filmmaking experts, attend a modern play, and more from the comfort of your home. For more information and to view upcoming events, go to facebook.com/themain-newhall or at themain.org. Enjoy the shows.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD Schools' Eye on the Valley. One more big thank you to Amber Music for coming in the last couple of breaks, talking about our homeschool options at iLEAD Exploration. Again, you can get more information at iLEADexploration.org. But now, it is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Big T is a longtime resident and leader in the Santa Clarita Valley. He is a business leader and philanthropist. He is the quintessential family man and community member, and he's also the only person that I know of to successfully rhyme Pinot Noir with PBR. Here he is, Mom's favorite, Big T. Welcome back, brother man.
What up, Maddie? How are you?
I'm doing well. I got Engineer Patty here rolling up his sleeves. He says he can take me this week. So he's been flexing. He's been working out over the holiday.
You know it.
And we're ready to go for you. Let's bring it.
Perfect. Let's bring it. I got some trivia and I got some fun facts, of course.
All right.
Kicking it off. What year did the U.S. boycott the Moscow Summer Olympics?
Frogger.
That'd
be 1980.
That is correct.
And then they doubled back and boycotted us in L.A.
I know.
Makes sense.
I know. What a shame.
Yeah.
What Japanese island was taken by American forces in 1945 after an 82-day-long battle known as Operation Iceberg?
Frogger.
Frogger.
See, I didn't need the hint. I was already going Okinawa.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Okinawa.
Cobra Kai, baby.
In Greek, that's a good show.
Yep.
In Greek mythology, what fate fell upon the people who looked directly at Medusa?
Frogger. They turned to stone.
Dang.
When you were gone, they turned to stone.
What company's long-running ad was "Reach out and touch someone"?
Oh, Frogger. Was that AT&T?
It was AT&T. What do
See,
human
that's
resources
not fair.
professionals-
Patty wasn't even around when we were reaching out and touching people.
That's right. What do human resources professionals recommend you don't do at work?
Reach out and touch someone.
Reach out and touch
Frogger.
someone.
Wait. Is that an actual question or is that just being silly? No, that doesn't count.
By the way, HR's got some documents for you to sign afterwards, Patty.
I knew they'd find me somewhere.
In the TV show and movie The Addams Family, who often said, "You rang"?
Oh.
Wait, are we talking about what the name of the actor or the name of the character?
Name of the character.
Patty.
Big guy.
Patty. Lurch.
Patty.
Oh,
Nice job, Patty.
good job. I knew it was the butler. I just couldn't come up with his name.
All right, Patty, this is you.
All right.
The Philadelphia 76ers retired uniform number 6 in whose honor?
Oh, Patty.
Patty.
The Dr. J. Julius Irving.
Dr. J. A couple of Dr. J fun facts. Dr. J got his nickname from a high school friend. He called his high school friend the professor because he was so smart, and the professor said, "So what, does that make you a doctor?" And it's stuck from there.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, do you remember his other nickname that he gave himself on a commercial?
No.
Dr. Chapstick.
I do remember that.
Boom, shakalaka.
He was also the only winner of the ABA and the NBA MVP award. He played his college ball at the University of Massachusetts, where he averaged 26.3 points a game and 20 rebounds per game. He's only one of 5 players in NC2A history to average more than 20 points and 20 rebounds in their entire career. The others are Bill Russell, Paul Silas, Artis Gilmore, and Kermit Washington. And then get this. In 1972, the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks drafted him from the ABA. Dr. J was not happy with his contract with his current ABA team, and he was attempting to jump to the NBA, but he didn't want to go to the Bucks. Instead, he signed with the Atlanta Hawks. A district judge then ruled that Dr. J had to return to his ABA team. You know who was on the Bucks?
Awkward. Who was on what?
Who was on the Milwaukee Bucks? Had he have joined the Bucks, he would have joined Kareem and Oscar Robinson.
Mm-hmm. And there's no way Kareem would have jumped ship and come to the Lakers. Man, the history
That
of the
would've been a
NBA
super
would have
team.
been forever changed.
Absolutely.
The early makings of a super team.
Wow.
Yep. All right, back at it. What girl group of the 60s had a one-hit wonder with the smash hit Leader of the Pack?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I'm blank on me. I got nothing.
I love that. Go ahead.
The Shangri-Las.
There we go. I just love that part of the chorus includes.
I'm not even going to sing.
Right. There we go.
I'm not going to sing. I'm about to butcher some French. So, what Beatles song begins with the French anthem La Marseillaise? Is that right?
Okay, could be.
The French national anthem.
Frogger.
I'm
going to go with Michel.
No.
Ah, très bien ensemble.
All you need is love.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
I was going to I love that one. I love the Beatles.
Yep. According to the classic nursery rhyme, what was Wee Willie Winky wearing when he ran through town?
Frogger, a fig leaf.
No. He had nothing but his nightgown on.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I don't know that we can say Wee Willie Winky on the air, Big T.
It was a character.
Okay.
How many symphonies did Beethoven write?
Frogger. 18.
Frogger. No, half that. Patty, do the math.
6. Oh, wait, it's 8. It's 8.
Producer Sarah just texted in and said that 18 divided by 2 is 9.
Yeah, no. Listen, it's the morning, but I'm like, wait, no, that's 6 or 8. I did it again.
This is great.
Comedy, folks.
I was told there would be no math.
I was told this too.
Which countries are the world's 2 largest exporters of wine?
Frogger.
The
U.S. and France.
Incorrect.
Patty was one of them.
Patty, he got one of them right.
Okay. I'm gonna say Italy, and I'm gonna say Italy and France.
Perfect. Patty got it.
Whoa! Check him out.
Italy.
California is actually 4th. Okay, behind France, Italy, and Spain.
Hey,
That
Big
makes
T,
sense.
California's not a country, but we'll
I
keep playing.
understand, but
All
I'm
right.
just saying. But the U.S. would be fourth, but
Sure.
California itself would rank as fourth.
Hey.
So some more wine fun facts.
Yeah.
A 750 milliliter bottle contains about 2.8 pounds of grapes.
Wow.
A ton of grapes makes 60 cases of wine. That's 720 bottles.
Okay.
You know, back in the day, Matt, the Romans, they actually melted down grapes into like a lead glass, into like a little syrup, and they put that in their wine to make it smoother and sweeter. They also used lead glasses to drink from.
There we go.
And they had lead pipes feeding their water. Now, believe it or not, several historians believe that lead poisoning was part of the demise of the Roman Empire, especially the wealthy and elite. But I mean, it's not like those guys were gluttonous, right?
Hey, another wine fun fact. You remember 80s wrestling superstar Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your typical day, Andre the Giant consumed a case of wine and about 8 loaves of bread.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
Prince Charles had an Aston Martin that runs on biofuel made from wine. Princess Di bought it for him on his 21st birthday. And then last wine.
You got to
fun fact,
figure
a
that
bottle
the
of
English would
champagne-
be putting the wine in the gas tank. Jeez.
Right. A bottle of champagne is 70 to 90 psi, about twice that of your car tire.
Oh wow,
wow.
That's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
Stand back. All right, in addition to being a hat, a Fez is also the third largest city in what country?
Frogger, Morocco?
Correct.
Fez is also the third most popular character on that 70s show.
I knew that was coming sooner or later. I love that show.
What's the second largest country in South America?
Second largest, Frogger. Argentina.
Argentina.
All right.
What was the Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon searching for when he found Florida?
Patty.
Fountain
of Youth.
He got the drop on me.
Good pull, Patty.
Yeah.
Good pull.
I know some history. Some.
What was the Rolling Stones album that featured the now famous tongue logo?
Ooh.
It's another part of your body.
Frogger, Crazy Legs.
No. Sticky Fingers.
I'm laughing at Engineer Patty here. He was looking at his fingers, but he was just he was fascinated by how they move.
Seriously.
All right. What band appeared in the Simpsons episode Flaming Moe's?
Oh, Frogger. I think that was I got one of two. I'm going with U2.
No.
There's
an American band.
There's so many bands that have appeared on The Simpsons. I don't even know anymore.
So it's part of the fun fact. It's the second largest selling American rock band of all time, right behind the Eagles. They're still performing, and they've been performing since the 60s.
Okay, I think I've got it, but
go ahead.
Engineer Patty's on the board.
I got nothing. Matt,
is one of them a judge on a popular reality show?
No.
Not Aerosmith then?
No. It is Aerosmith. Excuse me.
Boom.
Yes.
Oh, it was. I didn't think they were still together now.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have just gone with it.
Another Aerosmith fun fact. Steven Tyler was actually hanging out in a bar one day, no surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. And at said bar, he found himself checking out a woman that had his back to him. Again, no surprise.
Yes.
The surprise was when the woman turned around and Tyler found himself looking at Vince Neil, the lead singer of Motley Crue.
She's hot.
That moment inspired the Aerosmith song,
Dude looks like a lady.
That's a good song.
Written about Vince Neil.
I'm sure they got a good laugh about that.
And you know what? If that song were inspired today by Steven Tyler looking at Vince Neil from behind, the song title would be "Dude Looks a Little Bit Like Frogger."
You think so?
Have you seen Vince Neil lately? He's catching up, brother man.
All right. What movie based on a Stephen King novel featured John Travolta?
Frogger. It's not Pulp Fiction, is it?
No.
No, sir. No, sir. High school.
Oh.
High school prom.
Oh, I I know what this is. I just don't know the name.
Carrie.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What part of the human body?
Hang on. Lisa got that one. She texted it. Way to go, Lisa. Good job.
Lisa gets a point for this one.
Yeah.
What part of the human body does lacrimal fluid lubricate?
Oh, Frogger.
Lacrimal fluid.
Frogger. I got this one because of Spanish. Lágrima, tears. The eyes.
Yes.
Oh,
very good.
interesting.
Good. What rapper formed the B-Boy or the Bad Boy record label?
Oh, Frogger.
Frogger.
Is that Sean Puffy Combs?
That is Sean Puffy Combs.
Diddy.
Or Diddy. And hey, we're the
yes,
we're the
he
Sean
did.
Combs fun facts of records. Right?
Yes,
Right. So
yes, he did. I know what you
Right,
mean.
did he? Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy. So Diddy.
Yes, he
also
did.
goes by Puffy.
Okay.
He also goes by Sean Combs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. His son Justin actually played football at UCLA.
Go Bruins.
Yes, sir.
While Justin was there, Diddy actually sponsored the weight room and named it the Bad Boy Gym. Okay.
All right.
However, he also tore up that weight room and threw a kettlebell at strength coach Chalet Aosi. Remember that, Matty?
I remember. He got a little upset because young Justin wasn't getting enough playing time.
Correct. In addition to music in his portfolio, he has 2 clothing lines and 2 restaurants. Have you heard, speaking of UCLA, have you heard of Diddy Reese?
I have.
Westwood?
Shut up. That's not his. Diddy Reese, great ice cream. If you're in Westwood, stop by Diddy Reese. Oh, man.
Exactly. No, his 2 restaurants were actually named after his boy Justin. That one was in Atlanta, one was in New York, and they're both closed now. Speaking of failures, in 1991, Diddy promoted an AIDS fundraiser with Heavy D at City College in New York.
Yeah.
The event was oversold and a stampede occurred.
Ooh,
9 people lost their lives.
Oh, wow.
Tragic.
Thanks for ending on a tragic note, Big T. Hey, we got to bounce, but thanks for popping by. It is always fun when you come in. We will see you real soon. And you, don't go away. When we come back, we've got not only your state Senator Scott Wilk, but after him, we're going to get to know your new mayor, Bill Miranda. So stay tuned. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
Excellence isn't just a word, it is what we deliver. Vanguard Protection Group is committed to providing its clients with the highest echelon of protective services available. Our clients not only receive the security services they contract for, but also reports that are well-written, articulate, and thorough. Our patrol officers operate at the highest levels and have an impressive rapport with local law enforcement. With military, police, private policing, and courtroom experience, you can trust that we have the strength to deliver our promise of excellence. Contact Vanguard Protection by calling 661-753-3611 or visiting their website at vanguardprotectiongroup.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and when I invented my pillow, I wanted to have everything you'd ever want in a pillow. You can adjust the patented fill to your exact individual needs. You can wash and dry my pillow. It has a 10-year warranty not to go flat, and it's made in the USA. And now, for a limited time, you can get a queen-size premium My Pillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. I'm also giving you deep discounts on all my MyPillow products, including my bed sheets, mattress toppers, and bath towels. Not only are you getting the lowest prices ever, but they make the best Christmas gifts ever. Buy now and I'll extend my 60-day money-back guarantee to March 1st, 2021.
Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS or call 800-973-3927 and use the promo code KHTS. That's 800-973-3927 or go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS.
KHTS, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 9 o'clock. Time for national
He won't be
news
there
on
for the handoff.
KHTS.
I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A day after committing to an orderly transfer of power, President Trump announces he'll skip the actual ceremony. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live.
Lisa, it's tradition for outgoing presidents to attend inaugurations, but President Trump says he's not going. He made the announcement on Twitter, also saying the 75 million great American patriots who voted for him will have a giant voice, and they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. Trump will be the fourth president to skip a successor's inauguration, along with John Adams, John Quincy Adams, and Andrew Jackson. The last time it happened was in 1869. Lisa?
Thanks, Rachel. No official word yet on whether he also plans to forego other symbolic parts of the transfer of power, including a White House meeting. The acting U.S. Attorney General just announcing the FBI and D.C. police will jointly investigate the death of a U.S. Capitol police officer who was injured defending the Capitol during Wednesday's attack and later died, the fifth death stemming from the riot. The U.S. has set another record for coronavirus deaths, over 4,000 for the first time yesterday, bringing the total to more than 365,000 lives lost in the U.S. since the pandemic began. And it's still killing jobs, too.
We're seeing the first month of jobs lost since early in the pandemic. There were 140,000 fewer jobs in December, though the unemployment rate remained the same at 6.7%. Economists were expecting to see the labor market lose momentum in December, but few were predicting a decline.
Fox's Ginny Cosola. We are just getting word that baseball legend Tommy Lasorda has died. He was the pitcher who became a Dodgers manager, a global baseball ambassador, and a national treasure. Tommy Lasorda was 93. America is listening to Fox News.
New year, new budgets. Every small business has unique needs. And when you partner with a Dell Technologies advisor, you get real-time tailored advice. They'll even give you a free consultation on your servers and storage devices to develop a custom solution to help improve your company's productivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit and big savings on business computers with Intel Core processors. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Do not hire Franklin & Sons Electrical. The guy told me he'd shrink my monthly bill, and I'm like, dude, it's too small to read as it is.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then he's like, where's the circuit breaker? I'm like, bro, I didn't break anything.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
He told me I had a blown fuse. It's called a short fuse, and yes, I do have one, so watch yourself.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Despite President Trump's admission last night that he lost the election, there's a continued push in Congress to remove him from office before Inauguration Day. House Democrats preparing new articles of impeachment while still urging Vice President Mike Pence and the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. But two cabinet members are among a string of administration officials who have resigned since Wednesday's attack on the Capitol.
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos pulling the ripcord and issuing a scathing condemnation of the president for inciting Wednesday's riots. In a statement, DeVos saying, quote, that behavior was unconscionable for our country. There is no mistaking the impact your rhetoric, the president's, had on the situation, and it is the inflection point for me. DeVos's resignation makes two cabinet secretaries who are leaving. The Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao says that she will step down as of Monday.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House. Chao is married to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in a just-released letter, says she still has not had a response from Vice President Mike Pence about invoking the 25th Amendment, something Pence reportedly does not support. It has never been used before. There have also been calls for the president to resign, including from the Wall Street Journal editorial board and this morning the general board of the AFL-CIO, calling the president a clear and present danger to the nation. The Health and Human Services Department has finalized a rule it hopes the new administration will leave in place.
That will require HHS, the most powerful regulatory department in the entirety of the federal government, to review each of its regulations every 10 years to determine whether it has a significant impact on small entities like small businesses.
HHS Chief of Staff Brian Harrison says that would trigger a public review of whether or not that regulation is still needed. He says that new rule reflects decades of bipartisan intent.
I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks have been trading at records even though the latest reading on the economy shows job losses in December. The Labor Department says 140,000 jobs were lost in the month. Economists were expecting a small gain. It's the first decline since April, when the economy lost more than 20 million jobs in a month. Tesla shares are rallying, pushing the electric car maker to a market value of more than $800 billion for the first time. Streaming company Roku is buying Quibi's content. It plans to put the programming on its ad-supported channel. The Wall Street Journal says Roku paid less than $100 million to acquire the shows and will have global distribution rights to more than 75 programs and documentaries. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Newsmax TV is the biggest thing on cable news, with shows including Dick Morris, Rudy Giuliani, Michelle Malkin, Diamond and Silk, Mike Huckabee, Alan Dershowitz, and more. Every night, watch Newsmax's #1 show, Greg Kelly Reports. Greg Kelly tells you the truth about Trump. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Check your guide or tell your operator you want Newsmax. 30 million Americans watch Newsmax TV. And download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. It's free, so get Newsmax TV anytime, anywhere.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260 CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
When you look at your child, you see so much. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. A little leader growing to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make the world better. At SCVI, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free TK through 12 charter school provides boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a learning program customized just for your child. Today, that means empowering your child to bring strengths and passions to the distance learning environment. Our approach keeps your child and family in step while online, inspiring your learner to keep growing without missing a beat. At SCVI, your child will find even more ways to grow with projects and activities in STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. With the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, SCVI produces graduates who excel at top universities and in life. For enrollment information or to learn more about our distance learning program, visit iLEADSantaClarita.org. iLEAD Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. A mix of sun and clouds today. Highs in the low 70s, overnight lows in the low 50s. More of the same tomorrow and on Friday. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com. Find us on social media at KHTS Radio.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD Schools' Eye on the Valley. We are an education-based show, but we also like to do just that, keep our eye on the valley and keep you informed of what's going on in and around the valley. And breaking news, just the last 20 minutes, half an hour or so, we've got some bad news for the valley, the entire LA area, and the world of baseball. We lost an icon this morning. Tommy Lasorda has passed away at the age of 93. You all know Tommy Lasorda was a legendary left-handed pitcher, but more iconically, manager of the Dodgers, bringing us a World Series ring in 1988, and just a legendary baseball mind and storyteller. The Dodgers and Major League Baseball lost a legend this morning. Rest in peace, Tommy. We love you. Anyways, let's get back to it. My next guest was born in the Antelope Valley, and let me try to dust that off. That's sad news, but I'm really excited about our next guest. He was born in the Antelope Valley and grew up understanding the value of hard work and education. Senator Scott Wilk, the first in his family to graduate college, received his degree in political science from Cal State Bakersfield, the Roadrunners. He's an accomplished business owner and executive. Senator Wilk knows the policies that stimulate business, but a life of service is his true passion, and he served on the board of directors of the Henry Mayo Hospital Foundation and the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce's Legislative Committee, as a member of the Simi Valley Chamber of Commerce and the Granada Hills Rotary Club. He was elected to the State Assembly in 2012 as well as 2014, and then followed that up with his election to the State Senate, where he's served since 2016, recently winning re-election this past November. But his favorite job, hands down, was rolling out hot dogs at Der Wiener Schnitzel, still his favorite meal. Senator Wilk, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. How have you been?
Matt, you're hired. You're a good PR guy.
There we go. I'll be your hype man. How about that?
There you go. I like it. I'm fine, sir.
Good.
Looking forward to getting back to the legislature next Monday.
Yeah, it's your vacation's coming to an end like mine, and it's time to get our nose back to the grindstone. Congratulations!
I would
way.
hardly say it's a vacation, but yeah, we are going back. In fact, I just got notified by the Senate Pro Tem yesterday that I'm going to be the presiding officer, meaning that I will be up at the dais running the meeting on Monday as we open the session. So.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. Congratulations. And by the way, congratulations on your reelection.
Thank you.
So that was exciting. And now we've got a lot to talk about. Go ahead.
Yep. Nope, you go ahead.
You said it was a landslide.
Landslide, baby.
Yeah, never a doubt, right?
No, look, it only took 3 weeks for it to be, declared. I mean, poor Mike Garcia went, 4 weeks plus. So.
What a crazy election cycle. There were,
yeah.
Typically we know night of, maybe in a close election day after, but there were so many elections that took weeks before we finally established a winner. It was a crazy cycle.
Yeah, we have to fix that.
Yeah, you would think that, we've got the technology and the systems to make sure that things are not only safe but efficient, but, what do I know? So we've got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. About a month ago in early December, and gosh, doesn't December 10th seem like it was years ago? But back in December, you co-authored a bipartisan bill, SB 74, the Keep California Working Act, and that seems to be gaining some steam recently. Can you tell us about SB 74? What is it, and how's it going?
Sure. So, as you know, the governor shut down the economy on March 19th of this year. And when we did the budget this year, he was projecting a $59 billion deficit, which was not accurate. I mean, these politicians, they like to under promise and over deliver. The Legislative Analyst's Office, which normally has a more accurate figures, projected our budget this year to be $18 billion in arrears. Okay. Well, it turns out, there's many businesses have been hurt, but many have prospered. The stock market's at an all-time high, and we're actually now projecting a surplus just this year of $26 billion.
Wow.
So what we want to do, because there are plenty of people who are hurting, is we want to help those that have been hurt by Governor Newsom's actions. So what SB 74 proposes is to take 10% of whatever ultimately that budget surplus is and give it to grants to small business. I was on the phone yesterday with a couple who own 47 supercuts. Not all, most of them are in California, and they've been shut down, since March.
I do know. Have you seen my hair recently? Jeez.
Oh, I know. I need to get an illegal haircut before I go back.
I won't tell.
I'll have to call the governor and find out where he goes.
My son does a great job. We can have you come over in the backyard and he'll clip you up.
No, I'm serious. I look really, really shaggy. I look really, and anyway, and so like they've been paying their employees health care, for all this time, and obviously paying rent on all their facilities and what have you.
Right.
And they're hurt. So a lot of people are hurt. So want to lessen that sting by giving back. And again, and I know you know this, small business actually generates 2 out of every 3 private sector jobs. So, even though we have a lot of iconic, companies that start in California, whether it's Disney or Apple, the fact of the matter is, and even though they employ thousands and thousands of people, it's really small business that is the economic driver. So we need to make sure that we keep as many people in business as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Right here in Santa Clarita, it seems like every week we're reading about a different iconic business that's at risk of having to shut its doors. Saugus Cafe has been open for, gosh, what is it, over 100 years or something like that, and
I think it's 1885, but don't hold me to that.
And to hear that they could be closing their doors is just devastating. So I'm glad to hear that you've got some things in the works to maybe help get these businesses through this really difficult time. So COVID and its considerable effects on every part of our society is certainly obviously dominating how everything is working these days. But we've got this vaccine now, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? How do you see the rollout going? When do you think regular guys like me will be able to get inoculated?
So in terms of the vaccine, so it's really interesting because I know a lot of people have concerns about the vaccine because it was done in record time. Prior to this iteration of vaccines, the quickest it's ever been done has been in 5 years, and we've been able to do it in 1 year.
Right.
And the reason for that, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, unprecedented investment. Federal government invested $1.5 billion. Number two, the FDA actually embedded their scientists in the process. So the regulators were there from day one all the way through. So normally, a pharmaceutical company will do everything, and then once they're done with it, then the FDA runs all their tests. So that's why it's been expedited.
Okay.
As you know, there's 4 kinds. There's Pfizer, Moderna, and those are currently out right now, and soon to be released is AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson's vaccines. Now, what's interesting about the Pfizer and Moderna is it's a kind of a new technology. So the other two is like your traditional vaccine where they're going to vaccinate you with dead coronavirus cells, and then your body builds up the antibodies. The first two actually teaches your body how to fight the virus.
Okay.
So if you are older or if you have underlying health conditions, I've been told you should take the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine.
Okay.
And so in terms of rollout, it's honestly, it's not like the governor didn't know it was coming. It's gone really slow. In fact, I was on the phone yesterday with Dr. Mark Galley. He's the secretary of HHS here in California, because I've got hospitals that have not gotten their doses yet, and we're already behind schedule. And unfortunately, in government, no one ever takes responsibility. Everybody's pointing fingers at each other.
Right.
But we got to get that addressed. And I know Senior Center here in Santa Clarita, I got an email last night from Kevin McDonald about their delays. So we're going to do better in terms, and I've been working with Catherine Barger on trying to get it out quicker. So it should be coming. So his task force, which is determining who gets it and when, they met and voted on it on Wednesday. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, I would, like many Americans, I was occupied with doing something else, and so I have not seen what the final plan was. So I guess that's something I'm gonna have to do over the weekend, Matt. So thanks for the homework. But so somebody like you, so you're in education, so you will get it before most people. If you're a regular person, yeah, probably May. Should be May of this year.
Okay.
Late April, May. And again, I believe for all 4 of these vaccines, you need to have 2 doses.
Right.
First one, and then about 3 weeks later, the second one.
Okay. So we talked about economic relief for small businesses, and like you said, the owners of those those Supercuts locations. But what about, again, going back to kind of the common man and woman? I understand Governor Newsom is proposing his Golden State stimulus, which would include $600 payments to low-income Californians, and the CARES Act provided some unemployment extensions. Are these programs helping to keep things stable for the average worker who's struggling during these times?
Well, we'll see. Unfortunately, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, the EDD is going to, state inmates, even out-of-state inmates, and then regular hardworking Californians are not getting their EDD.
Hang on, I want to rewind that just a little bit. So, unemployment benefits that have been such a struggle for so many people to get here in California that are unemployed, but they're going to prison inmates that in a different state. You've got to be kidding.
Yeah, fraud. Yeah, it's fraud.
Wow.
It's fraud. And so because of all the problems, he suspended the program. So now I've got constituents who deserve the money who aren't getting it, and yet these out-of-state inmates are getting it. It's been a complete debacle. And the thing I don't understand is when he shut down the economy, he knew it was going to affect, EDD, right?
Right.
And he didn't make any changes. I mean, early on in April, and it's easy enough to track. Me and other legislators were saying you got to make this more robust because you got a tsunami coming. Right. And yeah, it's been a complete debacle. The funniest thing, and there's been all kinds of fraud on this. So I won't name it, but I had a business in my district. He called me up. This was months ago. He goes, Scott, I have 55, because what we do now, we don't give checks. We give, like debit cards with the money on it.
Right.
So he goes, I got 55 envelopes here with debit cards from people who don't work here, and I don't even know. And can you come pick them up? So I say, absolutely. So we went and picked them up. We scanned them. We got them to EDD to get them off the rolls, right?
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, he calls me again. They came in again. I said, well, we'll go pick them up again. And that I thought, okay, there's, it takes time sometimes.
Sure.
So picked them up again. And then it came a third time. So 6 weeks later. So then I texted the governor about this, and he was like, at that point, it was kind of early on in the process, so he's a little snippy. Well, why don't you just send it to me? So I said, good. So I called my Lancaster office, and what I didn't know that they've been collecting them from all over. So they had like 1,000 of these things. So we put it in a box. And we shipped it to Sacramento, and I was down here, but my staff walked it in the governor's office, and I've never heard from the governor on it.
Oh, gosh. We're talking with Senator Scott Wilk. He represents California's 21st State Senate District, encompassing the Antelope Valley, Victor Valley, and most of the Santa Clarita Valley. Senator, we're an education-based show. What about the governor's plan to get students back on school campuses? You know our schools well, you know pretty much all of the schools in your district really well. We've been trying for a long time to get kids back to school, but infection rates are really spiking, and we're not sure how safe that's going to be. From a governmental standpoint, do you think we're doing everything that we can to get kids back on campus and make that happen safely?
So my whole position on the coronavirus is that we need to follow the sound science with publicly released data, and then leave the decision making to the locals.
Okay.
I firmly believe that TK through second grade easily can be back in school safely, and then we're making a lot of investments. Schools like on cleaning surfaces and stuff, that's not what it's an airborne. It's airborne. It's not going to sit. Okay. When this first came out, remember they said, it can last as long as 17 hours, on a surface. In fact, back in March, I was the Senate required me to self quarantine because I was in a room that somebody had been in 3 days earlier that had tested positive. Which I thought was a little over the top, but I complied.
Right.
So the governor has this plan that has basically no details to get TK through second grade in. my own view on that, I'm not sure how serious he is. I think he's capitulating because, as you know, there's a recall effort going on. It's certainly gathering steam. And when I talk to parents want their kids back in school. In fact, a couple of days ago, on Wednesday, I had a Zoom call with the Saugus football team.
Oh, cool.
And it's heartbreaking.
Oh, okay.
Particularly if you're a senior. It's your senior year. You didn't have your junior prom, and now they're saying you can't play football.
Right.
And, you've been with these kids like what? You played Pop Warner. You played high school. It's like, and the fact of the matter is, 35 other states have had or are having right now high school football. And again, I think there's ways to do that safely. And so we'll see what happens. Yeah. I think the legislature, and I've told you this before, when we granted emergency powers to the governor for this pandemic, we got briefed on March 16th. We were told that this virus was highly infectious and that we could expect 25 million Californians to be infected, and 3 million of those 25 million were going to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were told, and that's why I gave them emergency powers. And I will tell you, it is the worst vote I've cast in my 8 years in the legislature.
Wow.
And I said members of both parties are highly frustrated. So we used to get a lot of we used to get briefings all the time from the governor's staff. That doesn't happen anymore. And honestly, a lot of times they result in shouting matches. And it's members of both parties. In fact, the last one we had, the new chief of staff told a senator to shut up.
Oh wow!
I've never seen that before. I thought it was highly, highly inappropriate.
Wow.
And it's because the chief of staff couldn't answer the question that the senator wanted. So anyway, yeah, should be fun times when we go back next week.
Wow, yeah. Have a great time. We look forward to having you back on in a little while and getting an update. I want to shift a little bit. I know you had an opinion, and you're certainly not short of them this morning. As you well know, in the days just prior to the Christmas holiday, many of your constituents, myself included, were affected by planned power outages that in some cases went on for days. And these shutdowns were obviously done for safety reasons. We had high winds and there was extreme fire danger. But is there something that can be done to avoid these things? I mean, I'm sitting here, Senator Wilk, wrapping Christmas gifts by the light of about a dozen candles, and I couldn't help but thinking, boy, you talk about a fire hazard. Here's me with a bunch of rolls of paper, and I'm not the most graceful guy in the world, and I've got a bunch of lit candles here in my bedroom. I'm wrapping presents. Well, we've moved on from 2020. It's now 2021, and in 2021, isn't there something that we can do to keep the lights on safely?
So like the whole tick fire incident, from last year.
Yeah, devastating.
So they had a PSPS because it was projected to have Santa Ana winds, which ended up not happening. They shut off the fire, and they shut off the power. And so the house where the fire started, they were barbecuing because they couldn't cook because they had no power. The barbecue tipped over, things caught on fire. They're on a well. Obviously, they have no electricity, so they can't pump water.
Right.
And then you saw the devastation on that.
Yeah.
So I would say that. So a couple things. So I was really rough on Edison last year, and I know they were not happy with me, but they've been briefing me. They have made and they're not done, and they need to do it faster. They've done a lot of investment.
Okay.
So they've done another thing. They've done numerous things. One, put in a lot more circuits. I know, having met with the Santa Clarita Valley Economic Development Corporation, they were concerned that a lot of their companies in the two, business centers were thinking about relocating to Arizona because, if you're manufacturing and you shut down, right?
Yeah.
It's problematic. And so they put in a lot more circuits. So when they do de-energize, they don't have to do wide swaths as they've done in the past. The other thing they're doing at great expense is rewiring and putting in a wire that's actually coated and safer, and allows them to be open longer. They need to continue those investments. the utilities are actually regulated by the Public Utilities Commission and not by the legislature. I did co-author with Steve Glazer, Democrat from the East Bay last year, a number of bills to address PSPS. Because of the pandemic, they would not allow us to move them. I'm not sure I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet on that. Also, the president of the PUC, she was recently appointed, so she is up for confirmation, and I am vice chair of the Rules Committee. And much like the U.S. Senate, the state Senate has an advise and consent role with the governor.
Mm-hmm.
So the governor has about 3,600 appointments, and of those, 837 have to come before the Senate for approval, for confirmation.
Right.
So I will have that person in front of me, and believe me, I will have plenty of questions. And she's new too. I mean, she's been there less than a year.
Sure.
And I've had conversations with her, but I'm going to get her on the record on a lot of stuff and get commitments from her to help protect my constituents.
Okay, terrific. We appreciate it. Senator Wilk, we appreciate your leadership. We know how valuable your time is. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you calling in this morning. Sir, you be well. Give our love to your wife, Vanessa, and we'll talk to you real soon.
All right, Matt. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Wow, Senator Scott Wilk, and we're not done. Just after these messages, we've got Mayor Bill Miranda coming on. So don't go anywhere. You are listening to SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Join us this fall for online fun with the Canyon Theater Guild online youth workshops. Super fun classes with acting, singing, dancing, audition tips, script writing, scene study, improv, and putting on real shows created for online performance. Get creative, meet new friends, and most of all, have a blast from the comfort of your own home. Call 661-799-2702 or ctgworkshops@gmail.com or canyontheater.org.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what's best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or visit resurgenceit.com.
Omelets or pancakes? You used to have to flip a coin, but not anymore. Because for a limited time, all 10 of our hearty omelets now come with unlimited pancakes. Which means this coin doesn't have to choose anymore.
What? I don't have to choose anymore? Ah! Later, choosers! I'm free!
Choose not to choose. Over 10 omelets now come with unlimited pancakes. At IHOP.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. Well, 1 month ago today, our city's new mayor was sworn in, and it was a historic moment for our city. Santa Clarita now has its first Latino mayor in Bill Miranda. Mayor Miranda was born and raised in New York City. He graduated from the University of Nebraska, go Cornhuskers, with his degree in engineering, and later earned his master's degree in management systems from West Coast University. His career has included work for Fortune 500 companies like IBM, Xerox, and Data General. He and his family moved to Santa Clarita in the early 80s Well, for the same reason that most of us moved here, right? For the renowned safety of our city and the fantastic schools that our valley offers. In 2009, Mayor Miranda became the head of the Latino Chamber of Commerce. He joined the Santa Clarita City Council in 2017, being appointed after Dante Acosta left his term a little bit early to join the state assembly. And Mayor Miranda was then reelected to the seat in 2018. He's an accomplished business leader, consultant, coach, entrepreneur, and an author. That's right. In 2013, Mayor Miranda published Profiles in Latino Courage. And you can buy that on Amazon, by the way. And now, Santa Clarita's first Latino mayor. Mayor Miranda, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you very much. What an interesting introduction, and I appreciate it. And whenever someone introduces me in that manner, I kind of relive all those experiences. So thank you for giving me that chance.
Well, it was certainly easy. You've led an extremely interesting life. So it's my pleasure. First off, congratulations. That truly is a historic event in our community. And in 2020, at the tail end of 2020, what a better time. Let me say, ya era hora, pues.
Gracias.
De nada, señor alcalde. But let's switch back to English for a little bit. So you've been very successful in the business sector, as I mentioned, but you decided to shift your focus a little bit about a decade or so ago. Can you tell us how and why you decided to get into politics? I know you haven't left the private sector completely, but you've really taken a role in local leadership in the Latino Chamber and now on City Council and as our mayor. How and why did you get into politics?
Well, the biggest thing is throughout my almost 38 years now of living here in Santa Clarita, I have been active in the community. I've been active with the seniors. I've been active with the homeless. I've been active with organizations like Family Promise and Single Mothers Outreach and others. And by being active in the community, one feels that he or she gets a sense of the community, what the community is thinking, where is it headed. And I felt at the time of that Dante wanted to run for city council, I felt that he was just the right guy for the job at the time.
Okay.
So I was a big supporter of his. So you could say that I got into politics by helping Dante and fighting for Dante to get elected to the city council.
Okay.
That's kind of the entree. But then when Dante moved on to the assembly, there was an opening, and I waited till the very last day to put in my application because I was hoping that some others would step up and join the fray, that another good Latino, as Dante is, would fill the seat. And people might say to me, you're an American, stop saying you're a Latino. Well, we are all in America of two cultures.
Sure.
Right? Whether we know it or not, we're all of two cultures. We're of the culture of our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and we're of the culture of Americans. And that's what being an American is. It's the blending of all those cultures.
Sure.
Right? And
yeah.
so we could very easily lose the American identity by saying, no, we're only Americans. And then before you know it, the whole idea of America,
right.
the blending of cultures, the blending of beliefs will go away.
Sure.
Because we're only going to be Americans. No, we're all of multiple cultures.
Yeah.
And for most of us, it's two cultures. So I wanted to make sure that the Latino culture, which is very high here in Santa Clarita, be represented on the council. And we did that with Dante. His father was from Mexico, and a very famous actor in Mexico, by the way, and quite famous here in the United States too, Rodolfo Acosta.
Uh-huh.
Well, so that was important to me, and I just didn't feel that we had the right person, and so I jumped in. Long story. Sorry for the long story, but
no, that's quite all right.
But there was an opening, and I jumped in.
And we're glad to have you there. Glad you did jump in. And as you mentioned, with all the different activities that you've been involved with over the years, there are few people that know our city better than you do. And you've been on the city council now for a while. As our mayor, as you step back and kind of look over the city, how do you see the state of our city right now? How are we doing?
We are one of the strongest cities in the state of California, and I can tell you that because I represent Santa Clarita in the what they call SCAG, all right. And that's an agency that overlooks the 88 cities of Southern California, 88 of the Southern California cities. It's not all the cities, but it's most of the cities, including LA and Long Beach. And as you know, we're the third largest city after LA and Long Beach. So we're part of that organization. And I have to tell you, being part of that organization, I see a lot of the strengths and shortcomings of other cities. And they see the strengths and shortcomings, if we have any, of Santa Clarita. And every meeting I have people come up to me, well, of course, lately not because of the pandemic, but when we were meeting downtown all together, people would come up to me and look at my name tag and they would see Santa Clarita and they would say, oh my God, Santa Clarita, you guys know how to run a city. And it's absolutely amazing. Let me tell you something. Financially, the state of the city is very, very strong, including after the pandemic. Okay. Were we hit by the pandemic? Of course. So was everybody else. But we have a reserve that keeps us very strong in times of crises, in times of emergency, in times of floods and fires and earthquakes and whatever. Right. So we have a reserve to protect ourselves. We dipped into that reserve, but I have to tell you, we're still financially very strong. We are very strong in terms of our roads. We pave our roads more often than almost any other city in the state of California. Wow. We have good, solid roads. You don't see a lot of potholes. So some listener right now is saying, yeah, I do. So there might be a pothole here or there. But overall, you won't see a lot of potholes. All right. We pave the city. We keep our paseos clean. We keep our paseos trimmed. And so from a transportation, from a bike paths, whether it's bike paths, we opened a new bike park over at the activity center, and Trek is putting in a motorbike park. So, I mean, it's just, we're very, very strong. Now, in a little bit, I know we're going to talk about the Human Resources Roundtable and some of the social issues.
Yeah.
Don't want to get into that right now. So I'm not telling everybody that we are the perfect city. We're not. But we're way ahead of a lot of other cities. And the state of the city is very strong.
Well, that's good to hear, and I appreciate your input. And I know that you don't necessarily wield absolute power as mayor, right? We've seen that over the course of the last 9 months. Certainly, you work with the other council members and then also with the other legislative organizations throughout the county and the state. But as you look into this year and your term as mayor, what are your top priorities for 2021?
Well, the biggest thing we have to worry about right now is the pandemic.
Sure.
And I'd like to take a little bit of time and mention that it is absolutely critical that we wear masks and that we social distance and that we wash our hands regularly and that we use disinfectants. That's absolutely critical.
Sure.
And most of the complaints I'm getting via emails, via phone calls, via text, are people complaining about other people not using protocol safety. and that's really inexcusable, especially when you take into account that the County of Los Angeles has 0 ICU beds availability. All right, they're down to 0%. That means pretty much every ICU bed in the county is taken.
Right.
And here in Santa Clarita, we have a great hospital. People don't realize, we have a 4-star hospital. That's not me saying that. That's the people who grade hospitals saying that. We have an outstanding hospital. We have an outstanding staff, and outstanding people running it, and outstanding people, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, you name it. The whole and entire staff at the hospital are fantastic. I know that personally. I get involved with those people regularly, okay? Yeah. And we need to do more for them, and we're working on that. But let me just say, they are overworked. They are under tremendous stress.
Yep.
And those beds are getting full.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't mean to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to scare people. Quite the opposite. I'm trying to tell people, hey, you're in good hands. All of us are in good hands. But I got to tell you, we have to help those good hands, okay?
Yeah.
We can't go and play basketball on our basketball courts and share the ball and pass the ball around and think that we're not spreading something. We can't do that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We can't go, we can't walk on paseos and see people walking toward us and not move 6 feet away, at least 6 feet away.
Sure.
And I know many of us don't wear masks while we exercise. I get it. And that's okay, but make sure you have distance between yourself and other people.
Right.
Right? When you go to the store, and by the way, you don't have to go to most of those stores you're going to. All right? Most of those stores have delivery.
Sure.
And so, or you can just do pickup.
Yeah, you can order ahead of time and go pick up. They'll drop it in your trunk, and it's 0 contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm seeing a lot of people going into stores. We're seeing a lot of store workers, whether it's grocery stores or big stores. Their workers are getting corona.
Yeah.
All right. So let's be smart. I understand freedom. I understand. Look, I go to church on Sunday, and thank goodness. Thank God, the church I go to has outdoor masses. They have social distancing. They require masks. They have disinfectant for everybody. And you can go and have your religious service. You don't have to pack into a church. You don't have to disrespect, as we saw recently. You don't have to disrespect the fact that we need to social distance.
Yeah.
This is key right now. This is a pandemic. This is a real McCoy.
Yeah.
And if you didn't think it was real last March, you better think it's real by now. We're going on a year with this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. So, yeah, let's make sure that we mask up and follow the regulations so that we can get through this as quickly and safely as possible. I agree with you. Mayor Bill Miranda, he's a business leader, author, and Santa Clarita's first Latino mayor. Now, Mayor Miranda, COVID isn't the only thing that's changing our country and our city, is it? It's a time of great social change as well. You touched on it earlier. How do you see our city's progress in terms of equity and equality?
We are making progress. It's never going to be fast enough for those who feel left out.
Sure.
And maybe for those who feel that progress shouldn't be so fast. It might be going too fast. So you're never going to please everybody. That's part of being on a city council or any elected office, or actually any leadership position. You're never going to please, and I shouldn't say never, but you're hardly ever going to please everybody.
It's really tough.
Yeah, it is. And so what we need to do is we need to listen and learn, right? And so a shortcoming of the city of Santa Clarita, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, has been that we're such a good city and we're so well run that it's hard for us to see any of our shortcomings. And the movement last summer, the Black Lives Matter movement last summer, brought to light to Mayor Cameron Smythe and to myself as Mayor Pro Tem last year, brought to light the fact that we need to sit down and have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's saying turn the world upside down.
Sure.
Nobody's saying that. Right. We're saying have a conversation and include everybody in the conversation. Okay? So whether you're African American, whether you're Latino, whether you're Asian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're whatever, be included in the conversation. Let's all have this conversation that says, okay, how can we be better as a society here in Santa Clarita? And so what we did, we listened. We met. Cameron and I met with a number of people who felt somewhat disenfranchised here in Santa Clarita. We met with them. We listened.
And I think
we
that's
had
so...
to push back.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's so important, just the idea of listening. You touched on trying to please everyone. I heard somebody mention once, if you're in politics and you're pleasing everyone, you're not doing enough. And it is difficult, but we appreciate your leadership, Mayor Miranda. We appreciate the time that you've given up this morning calling in. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everything you do in and for our city. And hopefully we can set up an opportunity to talk perhaps on a regular basis.
Absolutely, Matt. And thank you for the good work you're doing in the community. Oh. You and KHTS, you guys are fantastic. We've always loved you. We've always needed you. And we're glad you're here.
Well, thank you very much. Mayor Bill Miranda, our first Latino mayor, very exciting. Glad he could come in. Wow, what a great show. This is SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley. I'm your host, Matt Watson. Please stay tuned. We will be right back on your hometown station, KHTS.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Welcome to Duncan. There are 2 Duncan locations in the SCV. Both locations have outdoor seating, carry-out service, and delivery with Postmates, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. Use the Duncan app to order and accumulate points. The Canyon Country location on Sierra Highway near Via Princesa has drive-through service and is open till 7 p.m. The Bouquet Canyon location just off Newhall Ranch Road has curbside service and is now open till 7 p.m. The Santa Clarita Valley runs on Duncan.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVI and iLEAD Schools Eye on the Valley. Whew. I told you a couple hours ago it was going to be a great show. What a fantastic show, huh? Did I tell you? Wow. Back in that first hour, we had Amber Music from iLEAD Exploration talking about, well, gosh, the systems really that she has in place and the rest of her team have in place at iLEAD Exploration to make sure that homeschool program, although they've got thousands of students in iLEAD Exploration and the homeschool program there, they're able to customize education so that each individual student in their program is not only getting exactly what they need, but they're developing their strengths and interests and passions so that not only are they learning, but they're leading into the future. Amber Music is doing some great things with the rest of the leadership team there at iLEAD Exploration. Well, gosh, we played around with Big T a little bit. He came strong with the trivia. And we did get the final tabulations. If you were interested, if you were playing along at home, I believe the final count was Engineer Patty 4, Frogger 9, and lovely Lisa with 1. And Lisa was at an extreme disadvantage because she had to text her answers in, but she still beat us on that one there, Patty.
It's true. It's true.
And then in the second hour, gosh, what an amazing second hour we had. We were visited by Senator Scott Wilk talking about everything going on up in Sacramento and all the struggles that he's working with the rest of the legislators up there to deal with. And boy, we just had our city's new mayor, Mayor Bill Miranda, on, giving us kind of a check-in, a state of the city, and letting us all know how we're doing, making sure that we're keeping our masks on, and again, getting back to flattening that curve and making sure that we all stay safe and get through this as quickly and safely as possible. We're also commemorating a few legends today. Producer Sarah was letting me know that today is also we've got a couple of famous birthdays today. Producer Sarah was letting us know. I think it's Elvis Presley's birthday, 1935. I won't make you do the math on that one, Patty. But it's also David Bowie's birthday. Elvis Presley, David Bowie, born on the same day, about 12 years apart. So happy birthday in heaven to those two gents. And speaking of heaven, if you haven't heard by now, about an hour or so ago, we lost another legend, a Dodger legend. Manager and pitcher Tommy Lasorda has left us. And we are so thankful for all the amazing things that Tommy did for the Dodgers and for Major League Baseball. God bless you, Coach. We appreciate it. So yeah, sad day for Dodger fans and for baseball fans out there. We are commemorating a couple of things. This day in history, January 8th, 1835, the U.S. national debt on this date, January 8th, 1835, the U.S. national debt was $0 for the first, and only time in our country's history. Rest in peace, national debt. Today is also, I love celebrating the national holidays. We do have a national holiday that we're celebrating today that you can celebrate at home safely. It is National Bubble Bath Day. It's been a rough week for all of us. We could all use a nice bubble bath. So wrap up your day, finish the week strong, and then head home, draw yourself a nice hot bubble bath. Lock the kids out. You don't need that noise. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to my guests, Amber Music with iLEAD Exploration, Big T, Senator Scott Wilk, and Mayor Bill Miranda. Join us again next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVI and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.